wants all of you. You pull me in and cut me loose. Yeah, I'm right here. Now where are you?
Wow, I have not done this in a fat moment. Hi, welcome. What is life? It has been so long since I've sat down in front of the camera. Am I getting watery-eyed because I'm gonna cry, or am I getting watery-eyed because I'm just tired? Could be both. Honestly, the past 10 months of this life have felt absolutely wild, and I want to catch you all up. I miss creating. I miss talking out my feelings and thoughts, and honestly, the most beautiful part about creating YouTube videos is the ability to conceptualize ideas verbally, even if I'm speaking to you through the camera. It helps me understand myself and my life better, as well as hopefully inspire you all. I hope they're okay. So I would be lying if I didn't say I'm a little bit hungover. And I honestly don't even think it's hungover. I think it's more tired because I was out till 4 a.m. Because of that beautiful fun, I am as we catch up, let's get ready so I can go grab a coffee and a breakfast sandy and tell you about my life. I have caterpillar eyebrows. If we let my eyebrows go long like this, crazy. So I kind of decided that just a little lipstick and a little zhuzh is all you need. I have no idea. Come on. I like when it's cold enough to the point where you have to wear a long sleeve shirt or maybe layers, but you don't have to wear a jacket yet. Honestly, this is kind of a vibe. Kind of a fashion. Cute. I decided to tuck it in. I think that's cuter. Honestly, guys, I'm out of breath. I'm trying to learn a TikTok dance. TikToking these days is a full-time gig. So, man, those TikTok dances, they really get to you. Hi. Hey, it's time I catch you up a little bit. I feel like this is gonna be a word vomit because honestly, so much has happened. Starting with the fact that I'm gay. Didn't know that for 21 years of my life. Who can blame the patriarchy, you know? Anyways, I've tried to film this video actually already 3 or 4 times this summer, and I broke down bawling my eyes out every time, and I hated it. So I was like, I'm not posting this. I don't feel like sharing this on the internet. And I finished school a year early. I decided that I wanted to graduate. I was studying journalism. If you've been following my channel, you had known then that I changed from a dance major to a journalism major, and I finished it in 2 years after I switched over. I had somehow enough credits to graduate. I was pretty strategic with my learning. But I finished and I graduated in May, which is crazy because I feel like I'm still in high school. Not actually, I hated high school. I don't think school really has taught me the most about life. I think I learned a lot, and I really tried to learn as much and absorb as much information. I love learning, and I made the most out of the classes that I was in. But I think that there's something to be said about school systems because of their structure and the information presented to you that there's a lot lacking there. There's a lot lacking in basic human life skills and basic humanity. We need to be taught how to be compassionate, good humans and how to hold space for ourselves and others. School has its purpose, and I'm glad that I'm done. Man, it's like so much has happened, so much has changed. It's been such a journey, but I realized I was queer in January when I met a girl, and like the first girl that I really like actually had feelings for, and I was like, what's happening to me? And I was actually dating a guy at the time, so that was fun. Still friends with him. He's great. This is my lunch today. It's homemade bread with butter, alfalfa sprouts, cucumbers, and then my leftover curried pangang curry tofu with green peppers. Yum. These bad boys are stuffed with a cinnamon apple filling, and these babies are stuffed with a vegan Nutella. Okay, my camera died and then I decided to eat lunch, and now we're back. So, life update featuring me drinking watermelon poppy. So good. It's a prebiotic soda. It's so good. My favorite flavor, strawberry rose. Insane. Towards the end of the semester, I had like a lot of big life changes happen. I literally walked into a yoga class one day and like was madly attracted to someone who was a girl, and I was like, what's going on? I kind of was like bi-curious at that point in my life, but like hadn't ever like been with a woman, and I was just like, wait, what is happening to myself right now? Because I could not focus on the yoga class. All I could focus on was her. And then I'm like, how do I talk to this human and not be awkward and whatever? Long story short, started talking to her. We had like a little situationship going on, which was not ideal, but you know what? Things happen, and there was reasons behind it all. And I'm not gonna give our entire love life on here because that's an invasion of her privacy. Pretty much though, that was like a really big awakening for me, and also really hard because I was like emotionally deeply like attached and connected to this person, and we had reasons that we like could not be together, partially because doesn't live in America. So that makes it really fun. But that happened, and I had like broken up with the guy that I was talking to, and then I'm like, what is going on? And I stayed friends with the guy because we're just friends, but then I was like questioning my sexuality. I'm like, am I lesbian? Am I straight? Obviously not straight, but am I lesbian? Am I bisexual? Am I just queer? Like umbrella term? Am I pansexual? I don't know. And honestly, I still don't know if I know. I do feel like right now in my life, I like resonate more with being lesbian. I want to date women. I am attracted to women. I see myself marrying a woman, which is like really cool and crazy and fun. But also like, who fucking knows? Things changed. 21 years ago, if you asked me when I was a baby, I wouldn't have words. But like when you asked me when I was like 19 or 18, I probably would have been like, what? Girls, gross. Like I like had internalized homophobia. So that's new. She's queer. We're still unpacking all of that. It's like a journey, and it's definitely a process like coming out too, and like it's scary because you don't know how people are going to react, and you don't know like what, especially because it's not the norm. It's not the societal norm to be gay, and so it's scary, and it also is like extremely freeing at the same time to like step into that truth. And I am someone who like has to live my truth. I can't be doing myself a disservice because it's going to make other people comfortable. That's just not who I am. So I'm learning to really step into that and be really comfortable with who I am, and to be holding myself in the discomfort, you know? Like it's not always comfortable being gay and not fully like understanding my sexuality and feeling like I have to label myself for other people. Moving on, her and I didn't end up together, obviously. Sad. But, you know, everything happens for a reason, and I believe that we learn a lot from the people that are brought into our lives, and whether they stay in our lives or not, we can still hold those memories and those relationships as a part of ourselves and use them as tools to learn and to grow and to evolve, and you can still love someone from a distance. And I think that's been something I've really learned. And also, like, you never know. Life is such a mystery. There's so much to come in our journeys in this world, and you just never know. But I do think about her literally almost every day. Like, this might be the most lesbian thing ever, but I like have not gone a month. I haven't gone a day without thinking about this freaking girl since I met her. So that's been a journey. Yeah, that's my love life update. Wild, right? Then I graduated school, like I said a million times already, and then I was like, what in the heck am I doing? Because, you know, we have this projection of a linear path in our world that you go to high school, you graduate from high school. You go to college, you go there for 4 years, you graduate with a degree in something, and then you work in that degree, and you make an okay amount of money, you live okay, and you work for a corporate company, and you continue to build your way up the ladder in the corporate world, and then you eventually are able to make more money when you're like 50, and then you're still working when you're 50 and working 40-hour work weeks and stressed and tired and whatnot. Hell fucking no. No thanks. Not signing up for that. So I'm really lucky, really privileged, and glad that I had the opportunity to go to college. I have learned a lot about myself throughout this time and experience that I was in school, but I am really also glad to be out of school because I have learned more about life, more about myself, more about the world through the lens of being a yoga instructor and living my yoga and learning about yoga than anything else in the world. I have learned how to be a compassionate human, an understanding human, a human that can hold themselves in the discomfort and fear of literally life itself, and that's not taught in school, and that's a huge thing to be able to do, to not wake up and like go into depression right away, because our natural instinct when life gets hard is to go into sadness and darkness and depression. But when you learn how to hold yourself and you learn how to take care of yourself deeply and be introspective and work on yourself through everything that yoga and life can teach you, it's so powerful, and you learn how to actually exist with more peace inside, more harmony inside. Doesn't mean you're 100% happy all the time or 100% peaceful all the time, but you know how to come back home, and you know how to hold yourself in the scariness of life and in the uncomfortable moments in your life. And it's uncomfortable to graduate from school and to get out of the American school system and be like, what the heck is next for me? Like, it's scary, and it's honestly such a huge shift. And yeah, like, everyone's like, oh, I want to be done with school, but then the second you get out, it's like you enter the real world, and it's like making your way in the real world and truly doing what you love and like living the life you want to live. It takes commitment, it takes time, it takes patience, it takes letting go, and it takes being so unbelievably vulnerable and courageous. And that is scary and hard, and also we can do hard things, and that's what I'm learning. What happened for me post-graduation is that I actually posted a TikTok video one day where I was like, everyone's like, what are you gonna do when you graduate? What are you gonna do when you graduate? And then I literally got up in the video and walked away and was like, not your business type video. Like, I'm gonna trust the universe, and whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. And then later that day I got a call from my boss at the yoga studio asking about like if I wanted to manage the studio, and I was like, what? And it was like at first a little bit of a shock because like 21 years old, graduated college first, and not that I don't have didn't like have confidence in myself, but I was like, interesting, like what does this entail? And so I was really curious, but I was like, I really had this like idea that I was gonna leave the college town and like go out into the world. And then I'm like, well, maybe I could stay. And so it was kind of like this back and forth. Now I'm managing a yoga studio, and it's a beautiful job, and it's also hard because when you're working for a local business, you are managing a lot of different aspects of it. I definitely like am grateful as heck to have the job that I do. Is it the most high paying job in the world? Absolutely not. But like, this isn't permanent. This is most definitely just a year-long thing. But I'm really grateful that I decided to embark on it, because although it was scary and it was really hard at first to make that transition, like I worked the day after graduation. I had a Sunday, and then I started a full-time gig literally that next day. Most people give themselves like a month or 2 months break after graduation, if not more, to like reset and figure things out. I literally started the same week and had finished my other internships and like 8 other jobs that week before, and had a little heartbreak with the girl that I was with. So it was just like all these things happening at the same time, and finishing school was so weird. I didn't have time to like sink into anything and like let anything settle. It was like all these emotions coming up at once, and I shut down, and I honestly had one of the worst summers that I've ever had. Now, if you look at my Instagram, you'd probably see it and be like, oh my God, this looks like she's having the best time of her life. I was really sad a lot. I cried a ton. I lived alone, so I was spending a lot of time with my tears and myself and my sadness. I went to bed late. I'd wake up late. I like didn't work out a lot, didn't really move my body a ton, barely took yoga classes. Like I was really struggling in that sense. Obviously, like this is not the like deepest struggle of life, and I'm very fortunate and very blessed, but we're human and we experience emotions, sadness, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter, you know, no matter where you come from and what your background is. Like with that said, it was a really hard summer and a really big transition, and I just was trying to like breathe. Like I literally could not catch my breath. I felt like every day I'd wake up feeling like I'm hyperventilating and like had this just like knot in my chest, and I never could like decompress, and it was really, really hard. But I grew through it, for sure, I took time to sit with all of the uncomfortable emotions and the sadness and the fear and the anxiety and just all the darkness. Like I really sat with it and let it pass through me, and it still is, you know, because it takes time to let go of things and to let go of who you once were. I'm a totally different person than I was months ago because of the work that I've been doing, and because I sit with who I was and I let her go. She's no longer me, and I have to release that part of me and that experience and that life that I was living, because it's no longer my reality, and it never will be, and that's okay. I did a lot of learning and unlearning, which gets me into my next exciting thing and update. I wrote a poetry book, and I'm really, really proud of it. I wrote it over the span, honestly, of like a few years, if we look at some of the poems, because some of them are from like high school. I wrote a lot of poems recently, and when I was in the relationship with the girl that I was with, and that brought up a lot of new emotions and feelings, and a different level of observation within my relationships in life and myself, and like an awakening in a sense. And so I had a lot of new poetry, and I was like, why don't I just make a book? And I will do a whole announcement on here when it comes out, but I'm so excited because it is like my raw life, my raw heart and soul, all out on pages. And some of the poems are very beautiful and like, you know, euphoric and feel really good, and some of them are like really deeply dark and sad and hard, because it shows the duality of learning and unlearning, which is accumulation of duality. It's the light and the dark and the fusion of them. And I could talk about duality forever. Yeah, so that's like the biggest, I guess, updates in my life. I'm really loving my job at the moment. I really love the work schedule that I've built in after the summer, and it was like really hard this summer, and I kind of shifted things around, and it has been a breath of fresh air. I love teaching. I just love being around humans who want to evolve and learn and do the work to better themselves and to take care of themselves. The world is weird and it's confusing and it's freaking scary. And we need to take care of ourselves really deeply and love ourselves really deeply so that we can love the life that we live and love the people that are in it and let go of the ones and the things that don't work for us. So that is my life update so far. I have really exciting news too that I will share in another video. It is about where I'm moving next year, and I will tell you it is not in the United States of America. So I hope you all are doing well. I don't even know who follows me anymore on here. But I literally started this in high school, so it's like weird to think about who even follows this or whatnot. But thank you for watching if you did watch. I hope to keep growing this platform and growing this channel and just sharing my life and connecting with people. And I love you all, and I'm sending you an abundance of peace. Also, my puff pastry apple things are insane. They're so good.